This is Enterprise Morning, reaching you from our headquarters in Lagos, Nigeria, and Enterprise Television. It is. I am Henry Nnpc.
And I'm Choma Okohe.
All right, in a bit, we'll be going to our newspaper headlines to see all that we have for you this morning. And right after that, in a jiffy, will be our main conversation also for today. So I'll get everything all sorted out and produced for you. Please do well to visit us at enterprisetvnews.com and also like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. With us today to do justice all that, we have a newspaper review and an also main conversation, if possible, virtually joining us from Lagos State, Nigeria, Barrister Vansufeli, Barrister Law and Public Affairs Analyst. Good morning to you, Barrister.
Good morning, Barrister Evans.
Good morning. Thank you.
Thank you so very much for your time. We truly do appreciate it. And also with us in the studios, Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid, Barrister Law and Public Affairs Commentator. Good morning to you, Barrister.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so very much for your time. We truly do appreciate it. So let's kick off our newspaper headlines today, starting off with the Punch newspaper.
Okay, the big story here. Borno Dam collapse. Federal government opens IDP camps as flood submerged 70% of Maiduguri. I have a rider to that particular story. Inmates escape. Thousands displaced. Chinimbo NAPS. Governors pledge aid as NEMA begins evacuation.
All right, on the bottom strip of the same newspaper, we have a developing story from the Nigerian police force, where we have it. The 10,000 new recruits for deployment February 2025, and that's coming from Agbetokunda IG.
Moving on, and still on the bottom strip, Lagos Red Line train to transport 150,000 passengers daily. Details are on page 20.
Very well. Good news for Youth Corps members. We have it. That 70,000 naira wages NYSC awaits a federal government directive on new minimum wage for Corps members. That's a good one. And also, finally, we have what's making rounds still on the Punch newspaper. For London cost rises, marketers fear high Dangote price. We have it exclusively from the same newspaper that all marketers are concerned about the delay in announcing the price of premium motor spirit, popularly called Petrol, being produced by Dangote Petroleum Refinery, as they noted that London cost of imported PMS is now at 1,120 naira for a litre. It's further stated that dealers stated that a high PMS price from the Dangote refinery would lead to the importation of the commodity by marketers, since the government has opened up the market for competition. Barrister Vansufeli, is an open sesame for both independent marketers to do whatever it is they want to do, since the Dangote refinery seem to be making it difficult for them. But what does this mean for our economy and Nigeria as a country?
I didn't get the question.
Yes.
On the phone call obstructed.
All right. So the question is, with the issue we have, independent marketers are hoping to go international in procuring their products, while Dangote refinery, so they say, seem to be making it difficult for them. If this landing cost becomes very high, what does this mean for our economy?
Well, it will lead to more hardship for the people, because the independent marketers definitely are businessmen. They are going to buy this product where it is going to be cheap for them to make a profit margin that will keep them in business. Okay, who is a businessman?
Okay.
Maximize profit. So on both ends, you notice that there's going to be a problem on the masses, because the masses will be the ones who suffer from the net that we are seeing. When Dangote refinery came up, people thought that since the export duty and import duty will be cut off, and since he's going to get crude in naira, just like the federal government said they should sell to him in naira and all that, we thought that after production, we're going to have a price that will be far different from what it would have been when the international refineries refine, when they export using dollar to do transaction. So we thought that with this, it's going to be lower. But it now appears that as we speak, Dangote don't even have a price yet. And at some point, they said they were waiting for Nnpc. And Nnpc surreptitiously increased the price not too long ago, just about some days ago. And it appears to me that that is not unconnected to the emergence of Dangote with the product. So at the end of the day, the marketers are actually, for me, saying they are doing the right thing by stating that they will look elsewhere if the cost. So the marketers, they are going to be the regulators now for us, from what I'm saying. Because, yes, they are going to be the regulators for us, because from what I'm seeing, if they're able to get hold of it somewhere else at a cheaper cost, it forces Dangote to bring down price. Because Dangote is used to monopoly. He enjoys monopoly. He enjoys it. Up until Boa Cement came, for 15 straight years, Dangote has been the only one supplying cement in the whole country. You can imagine, including other African countries. Because Elephant Cement at some point died. Then the other one, Lafarge was not doing so much. Okay? Until Boa Cement came to now compete with him. And if you look at the price, would have been more than what it is today if there's no Boa Cement. So Dangote enjoys monopoly.
But Barrister, Dangote frowned against that, at the initial time when he was having some fracas with the Nnpc. He frowned on that, saying that people say he is monopolistic, which, of course, it is not.
No, don't say it is not. Now, what Obasanjo banned every other noodles to allow for only Dangote noodles during his second term. Okay? All foreign, they were all contraband, and only Dangote for that whole period. You understand? Up until a particular time. And I just give you an example, the cement and all that milk. Well, every businessman likes monopoly. Let's not share that away. But should monopoly be at the expense of the people? If it is a product that's a luxury, where not everybody will need to get it, you can become monopolistic, no problem. If it's a product that's a luxury that not everybody will need to purchase them to live a good life, then you can go monopolistic and all that.
Okay, let's come back to the studio. Okay, over to you, Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid.
You see, the issue being discussed here regarding whether, because I'm worried, I'm thinking whether or not those importers can even do what they say they want to do. Because as it is today, based on what is on brand, the Nnpc is a major and likely sole importer of fuel in Nigeria. That does not to say that any other person cannot import, but the way arrangement is being done now, it appears indirectly Nnpc is the only person that has been licensed, that has the capacity or that has the power to do that now. Other people have not been given the opportunity to do that. That is contrary to what we are saying or what they are preaching. Okay. The Nnpc and the regulators, they are saying that, look, we have a free market economy in that area. If you have a free market economy in that area, nobody should be waiting for anybody to give him that opportunity to go and the approval to either go. I think they should allow everybody, that person who has the capacity to import. With that, so many things, the alleged monopoly of Dangote, which I don't believe, because we have 4 refineries in Nigeria. It's not working. They are not working not because Dangote said they should not work. They are not. Other people are not bringing their own refinery, not because Dangote say don't do your own refinery. So, but that is not to say that Dangote don't enjoy certain privilege from the government. Even in the past, those areas that enjoyed that monopoly, it was because the government gave them that support and opportunity to be able to do that. So, what I'm saying here is that, look, the idea of fuel importation should be allowed from anybody, whether you are Dangote, whether you are independent marketer. If once you have the capacity, you can go anywhere. You can go to Dangote, go to wherever you want to do it, if you are okay with it. For us, what we need the country is to have a fuel at an affordable price. That's what to be the concern of the government. Whoever that's bringing in fuel must not bring in and sell it to Nigerians at a figure that will be so exorbitant. But unfortunately, even the government, when they are doing their own importation, they put a lot of obstacles, because all of this, we talk about difficulties in Nigeria and or cost of commodity or goods in Nigeria. Government is part of it. What are the things what are the levies and the taxes that are being imposed by the government? So if government want this fare to come down, they know what to do. They can give what's it called? Certain benefits, certain opportunities and privileges to these people. And then they will be able to say, okay, having given you this, you have to do this, you have to do that. But government not doing that, saying we are in a free economy and they expect a particular owner of a refinery to sell at a particular price. That will be contradictory. That will not go away for anybody. Dangote is in business, in this refinery for the purpose of making profit. This refinery was not because he wants to help Nigeria. It's because he wants to make money. He realizes that, look, Nigeria is suffering in this area. Let me invest in it and make my money. So it should be a kind of support for government, what government cannot do. Even though the government cannot do it, they were able to support Dangote to be able to do it.
All right. Okay, just before we move on to the next people, I think it's very important to ask this question, Pastor Francis Philly. Is it fair to say this could be our teething period in Nigeria, especially when it comes to the downstream sector? Nigeria today enjoys the best when it comes to telcos services around the sub-African region. So do you think there would be a time when in the downstream oil sector we would equally start enjoying what we do currently enjoy with telcos in Nigeria?
So when the telcos came in, the Econet was the first that came in. Shortly after that, MTN came in and others came in. You understand? I know we were able to, have a smooth sale. Even Nigeria tried to compete with them at that period, but it became obvious that Nigeria didn't have the cloud resource and state. So the government could not compete, and the government left completely and focused on regulation. Okay, in this downstream sector, I think that will happen. So many persons have license, but they've not commenced. Many of them have not built refineries and not commenced any operations. Not too long ago, the federal government issued a threat to all those who have licenses but have not started operations that they are going to withdraw it. Okay, I think that is also an attempt to get them to go build refineries and start operation. It's a certain period. I agree with you absolutely. But what the federal government needs to do is in this they should not stand as a clog in the wheel of progress. Nnpc should get his act right. Should not begin to clog everything around proportion. And this issue of PMS is far more important than the telcos. I know that the need for communication then was critical, but the need for mobility is more critical than the need for communication. So the federal government must support, just like they supported Dangote, to come up with that refinery and all. They should support every other company that have license. Okay? Support every other company that have license so that we'll get through with this teething period of this. And then, because there are no countries in the world that have actually, crossed this Rubicon by establishing a proper system where every player, know how to get their food. Okay, I know. How to refine raw material. So and that's what is required now. Our government should encourage the investors. Not too long ago, they said they are going to the Kaduna refinery and the Port Harcourt refinery. They are going to give it out. Okay, there's still a bid on that. Those are baby steps. By the time you now have the private sector fully established here, I think we will not be talking about this again. And then people are going to buy PMS in the manner they like. I noticed that in US, for example, when we were in Georgia, we buy for $3 plus. Okay, when we move into another state, we're buying it for $2-something in other states. When we went to other places, we're buying it within 3 points, 2.3 points, 2.3 points. Okay, that is to say that the price is not determined by any regulator, but it's determined by the state or the quality of or the cost of what the filling station or the gas station purchased from marketers. And that's how it's supposed to be. This rowdiness in this area, where, do you know that with all this analysis we are doing since morning, from yesterday to all this, there's this scarcity. There's this scarcity, the fuel they are not selling. Nnpc say the product is in the country. Okay? Those who are trucking it are trucking. Where are they trucking it to? Because there's this scarcity. They're trucking the product. If you go and stand on the express now, you see them moving the product here and there. But when you go to the filling station, they are not selling. So where are they trucking it to? So that is a question we need to ask ourselves and know exactly whether this whole thing is not being taken to other African countries.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you,
Well said.
Why we can lack.
Thank you. By Satunji Abdulhamid, why is the scarcity still on at this point? Because the Dangote refinery have got this fuel in quantity, they are ready to disperse, but the Nnpc is not coming forth to talk about it. Now, this is one question. Now, let me just ask you two questions in one. Secondly, should the independent petroleum marketers anticipate policies from the government? Because we've known governments most times, when they see loopholes to actually get to expose some of the things that they're doing, they get to bring up policies that would most times scrub or put the people in question under the law, so they don't most times go ahead of them.
Let me start from the last question. Where we are today because of government policy, actually not well thought out policies, and we have been having policies all this while. The point is that, look, you cannot do policy to saving my business in terms of you are not helping the economy as well. And that's why the most people who are foreigners will not be comfortable to invest when policy will come to, you have a policy today, but because of certain thing or the other, you change it tomorrow. There is no consistency in your policy, there will be change. So we need to be consistent in our policy, and that's what the government must be seriously looking to. We see having scarcity, not because, I can see most filling stations are selling now. But the point is that they are selling at different rates, which is what the government is saying, market forces. Yes, it's good. But Dangote has not started distribution of its products. They will start on the 15th.
Oh, okay.
That's what they've not started already. They've not been giving anybody products. They are to start. They are set to commence distribution on the 15th. But what they are saying now is that, look, when we are set to distribute on the 15th, the Nnpc that has been targeted as in quotes, as the sole distributor of these products, which Nnpc has also denied, saying, look, we are not a distributor of Dangote's refineries products. But Dangote in his last statement said he's waiting for Nnpc. So in other words, there's this what's it called? I don't even know, shifting of if anybody wants to buy a product from Dangote, it should be given the opportunity to allow him to discuss with Dangote. But as it is now, probably there is something we don't know that is blocking Dangote from engaging other people or discussing with other people, looking at Nnpc, because he is believed that, look, Nnpc must be the one to take this. If I even said it, that Nnpc will determine the price. It was when people now say, you are talking about market forces, and you are saying somebody who is not the owner of the products will be the one to determine the product. So what I'm saying is that, look, we are still having scarcity because that product is not yet available for distribution. It will be available on the 15th, which is a Sunday or Saturday, I can't remember. Okay. But what they are saying is that even if we are going to, we have not seen government showing interest that on that day they will come and pick these products. And if they don't have, if there's no any agreement to that effect, that means nobody will come and pick the product, and that means maybe we'll likely continue with our scarcity of air, because the Nnpc as it is, even though they will tell us they have enough products on ground, they have this and that on ground, we are not seeing it. As long as we're not seeing it, probably they are smuggling it, because they will come out and say we have enough products. Don't do panic buying. Don't do this. Yet we will get to filling station, there won't be fair, and nobody will come and say, look, maybe we have fair. Why are people not selling? We don't even have any regulatory agency again. DPR was even doing better than this one that we have. They don't even have any regulatory agency. So for me, let's still wait for Sunday or so. But unfortunately, we are seeing the green light. That may likely be a problem because no agreement has been signed yet between Dangote and the Nnpc, except the government will now come out and say, look, directly, the independent marketers, you can go ahead because they are waiting for the Nnpc. Nnpc is the one in charge, even though Nnpc is also a private company that should be competing with other people. But because it's owned by government, they are taking using that advantage to see themselves as special. They are not supposed to be. They are supposed to be like other. They are not regulator. Nnpc is no longer regulator. They are no longer regulator of any of this. They are just participants as well. They are also into the business, so they should be competing with other people who are into similar businesses. The regulator is a mainstream, downstream regulatory agency. These are the regulators. Nnpc is a company also dealing in that kind of product, and it should be also, in fact, it's in the same category with Dangote as it is today now.
Very true.
The Dangote is ahead of them because he has a functional refinery. Why Nnpc has none?
Well, beautiful. And of course, around the world, there are 825 functional refineries in the world. Unfortunately, Nigeria, a country of over 200 million people, we only just have one that just started last week, and that's Dangote refinery. But that's the situation we find ourselves. But let's move on to the Guardian newspaper for today. The big story here says fears of fatalities as Borno Dam collapses, displays 500,000.
Okay, moving on. Army denies fresh invasion of Okwama, says it's routine military operation. Details are on page 6.
And also on the bottom strip of the same newspaper, OBOT, right INEC over LP caretaker committee.
Okay, moving on. Abuja residents groan over restricted access to 40,000 naira rice. Details are on page 9.
And also, federal government rolls out free CNG kits and states that a liter of CNG is 230 naira.
Okay, moving on. Nigerians are disappointed. Are Onakakanfo tells Tinubu. Details are on page 7.
All right, so let's look into this issue of Labour Party. Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid, let me start with you on this one. OBOT, right? INEC over Labour Party caretaker committee. Nigerians are saying at this point, Peter Obi has is beginning to be strong-willed at this point, because his alliance with OT is beginning to look like what a Labour Party has expected for a very long time. But do you think this is late coming from Peter Obi?
I wouldn't say it's late. I wouldn't say it's not late. But for me, I think it's not proper what they are doing. And I remember sitting here a few days ago saying that the crisis in Labour Party is even bigger than that of in the PDP. And I remember saying that Peter Obi and co have long sat behind and failed to take that leadership position. But my fear now is that, look, as it is today, we have division in Labour Party. There's clear division in Labour Party because we have two set of what's it called? Leadership now. They are the one led by Abure, who claim to be the chairman of the party and the other ESCO members. And we have the committee that has been set up by the other. The capacity in which Obi and co set up those capacities, I don't know. I don't know whether, although I am aware they have a meeting, general meeting. I don't know whether or not having the Abure and co lay claim to their seats. So it's going to be a serious issue for whether INEC will accept that letter from Obi and co, whether INEC will recognize Abure and co. It's a matter that I'm aware so many cases are already in court in that regard, even before now. So the Labour Party is in serious crisis as far as I'm concerned. And it's high time for Obi, if seriously is interested in the next presidential election, to take it seriously as a leader, because it is now based on some of the party's constitution. Anyone if you're a president or you are the candidate of the party in the presidential election, you are the leader of the party. But as a leader of the party, you have to act in line with the constitution of the party. You will not impose your own. So I will not say whether they have done the right thing or not, because I don't have knowledge of the constitution of the Labour Party. So it will not be right for me to sit here and say what they have done is not correct or what they have done is correct. But I see crisis in all this that has happened. So it is for them if this is to be settled, Obi and co will need to do more than what they are doing before now. Okay,
thank you. Over to you, Barrister Evans Philly. Now, looking at the way Obi and OT are going over the issue in Labour Party, and Abure, on the other hand, it's not working with them as a team. What is the long-term effect of this if it should continue, looking at 2027 around the corner?
Please, can you? Okay.
Can I hear you?
I mean, as the fracas of
Barrister, we can hardly hear you. You are breaking.
Destroy what is left of the else landed from that end before. I was muted from your end before, but I'm not muted here.
Okay, beautiful.
Okay, poor connection. Just
Can you hear
continue.
me?
Yeah,
Yes,
we
we
can. Yeah.
Right. I said this fracas may destroy whatever is left of the LP. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
we can.
Yes. So because what has happened is that Abure had accused the governor of Abia State and P2B for this expanded version of the meeting they created. And I stated that according to Article 14 of the Labour Party Constitution, they have no right to convey such meetings as members or as whatever. And as such, Abure have flung open the Labour Party ticket for anybody. This was actually reserved for P2B before now, but has flung it open as a result of that meeting that they had. And he has said that that meeting is illegal and does not fall within the confines of the party's constitution to so do, because the chairman of the party is supposed to be the one to call for the meeting with the ESCO and to pretend over same. That is one. And in that meeting organized by Peter Obi and the governor of Abia State, they made Nnamdi Usman, a kind of leader who should midwife for the election that is coming up, both in Edo State and the next election that's going to come up. In which case, Abure also cited Section 82 of the,
Labour Party Constitution.
the law that regulates election in Nigeria. Okay, and it says that it is wrong for you to come up with any meeting whatsoever a political party to appoint a leader or ESCOs or whatever without the observance of INEC. Okay, that's the Electoral Act, Section 82 of the Electoral Act. And it now said that that appointment of Nnamdi Usman is also illegal. So what I thought they should have done, Peter Obi and Alex Oti, was to look for a way to get Abure into all these arrangements, even though they said the man is like he has a mind of his own and he has his own projection of what he wants to do. And he has some people, there's a fashion now. Remember, there used to be a fashion with Abure and Lamidi Apapa. That one just died down not too long ago. They were able to, after a long battle, coming over for the past 1 year. Now, the second battle, the second phase of the LP fracas has to do with the governor of Abia State and Abure. And Abure has cited a lot of anti-party activities that have been committed by this person. But the governor said that the essence, the reason for that meeting was based on the doctrine of necessity. That you can imagine, election is by the corner in Edo State, and the LP have no agent. As we speak now, they have no agent, and they are preparing for an election in just 2 months away from now, or some months away from now. So how are they going to do that? So all that we have made it impossible for the party to move forward, and they are now taking steps. The other persons, they are taking steps outside the party's constitution. So you see the dilemma. At the end of the day, they are going to go to court. They are not already. I think Abure is already there, and
as a lawyer,
may erode whatever over.
All right. Well,
you can also see that in politics, it's not about principle, it's about interest. Before the last election, Abure and Apapa, they were on the
opposite end.
Opposite side. But today, Abure is fighting those who supported Apapa and Abure are together today.
Yes.
And they are fighting those who are supporting Abure. That's because Abure is out of favor from those people. So in politics, in Nigerian politics, it's about interest, not about it. So anybody who wants to kill himself or die because he's supporting a particular person and the other person is not is against another person, shooting twice.
All right, very well said. Just before we drop our anchor on this particular segment, lastly, let's go to the Nation newspaper, where we have on the top strip of the same $3.5 billion LNG Shell accuses Venture Global of alleged wrongful earning as NLNG faces same offense.
Yeah, moving on, the big story here. Federal government dollar bond attracts $900 million subscription. A rider says proceeds for critical economic projects, says Edu.
Very well. And also we are winning battle against the bandits or thieves, says the service chiefs.
Okay, moving on. Canada's student enrollment drops by 45%. A rider says new immigration policy unfavorable.
All right, so let's take a look at this particular story. Canada, number of students from Nigeria drops by 45%. Does this mean well for our educational ecosystem, Barrister Evans Ofeli?
Even in the UK, a lot of people are dropping out because they are not able to keep up with what it takes to succeed in that school. And Canada is also not different. Many people, they sold land, they sold property, a lot of things just to ensure that they leave Nigeria. Many of them, the intention is not to, I don't want to sound like that boy in the UK. But the idea, what I'm trying to say is that when they sell all these properties to go and do these programs, and they pay school fees, and they pay accommodation, and they are not allowed to work for more than 20 hours per week, you will see that those who have the intention of working to use the money they are going to earn to complete the fee, they are not able to do that. In the US is better because in US you cannot take a loan. And when you take a loan and all that, but in Canada and the UK, it's tough. It's tough because the environment is not screwed that way. If you don't have a sponsor that is doing that, if you don't have a dependent, if you don't go with it, now you can't even go with the dependent again. That's for you. For Canada, you can do that. But all the same, at the end of the day, this country must, rejig its own educational system, rejig the country. Nigeria have capacity to deliver most of these things we go to look for in abroad. Okay? But bad leadership is the reason we are traveling all over the place. And some countries, they are laughing at us. How can you be this rich? How can you have this amount of resources? And just because you cannot structure your country well, your citizens are all over the place, contributing to other economies. So it's a very bad thing for us. And if the government is not really doing much about it, as I speak to you now, the Commissioner for Education is talking about how children should be 18 years before they can write.
The Minister of Education.
Then they will turn around. So when we have this kind of issue, we're not going to go forward with this kind of issue. Go forward.
Thank you.
I can't say this enough.
Thank you, Mr. Evans.
You are happy.
When you put men of yesterday in a position, they think about yesterday. They don't think about the future. So, and that's what's happening. Most of the people, Minister of Education is 70-something years old now. And so what he believes or what he's seen, he will prefer to go back to what is obtained in the past. And you see the Canada thing you talk about is inevitable. The economy is biting hard. And again, I think in Canada, there was a recent policy which says that students in Canada who are foreigners who came to, they will not be allowed to work again at school. That's policy that I'm not sure that I'm correct, but I think there's a policy in that regard that says that we want to restrict students
from working and
studying and working. So that will affect a lot of Nigerians because some of them are sponsorship of themselves. They sponsor themselves in that and that work is what makes them to be able to pay their school fees. So if you can't pay again, you have any other choice than to. And those who are even in Nigeria, who are being sponsored by people in Nigeria, they would compare the figure, the amount being spent before now, before this subsidy is gone pronouncement in May 2023. you realize that it's not about times 3 of the cost. As it is in Nigeria, I would just want to employ the government to do to ensure that fuel and electricity are regular in this country. Once we have regular electricity, once we have fuel, things will likely change in a way. Our problem is electricity and the fuel. People are spending lots on this fuel. The amount you spend on fuel affects so many other things, and that's why you see the cost of goods and commodity go high, because what you buy for, as it is now with this new price of fuel, what you buy for 1,000 last week or so, I will not be surprised if it's now 3,000 or more. So the government need to look into that. If the government wants cost of things to go down, they need to work on this our electricity problem. They need to work on the fuel issue and make it more affordable for the people. That's my point.
Thank you.
Very well said. That's just about the time we have for this segment. We'd love to say thank you to Barrister Vasufeli, who just left us right about now due to poor connection, and also love to say thank you to Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid. Thank you so very much for your time.
It's my pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
All right.
When we return, the worst is yet to pass from flooding in Maiduguri as prison inmates escape and 500,000 displaced. Do stay with us.